Brothers and sisters, good evening. We're the Fullers, President Michael, my wife Gina. We've been asked to express our thoughts in regards to how we hear Him. President Nelson has encouraged us to consider this topic, and recently Elder Bednar has encouraged us to actually do videos on this subject. We'll start with Gina.
So I've been thinking about how I hear Him, and from an early age, music was probably the easiest way that I could hear Him, and I would feel the Spirit and through the words and the messages that were in music. And then scriptures have always been an easy way for me to hear Him, and with the thought that we can read the same verses at different times, and then they can give us different messages and different things that we need at that time. Also, just being quiet has helped me when I'm trying to hear Him. Most recently, before General Conference, I decided I was going to write down some specific questions that I had, and I wrote down those questions and then had those questions in my mind as I was listening to General Conference. And I want to testify that I was able to find answers and hear His message that was for me specifically. Whether those things that I recorded in my notebook were what was actually said, I don't know, but those things were the messages that I needed to hear. And so I'm grateful that I had that opportunity to hear His words in a variety of different ways.
So as I've contemplated this subject, I think I used to consider that God's words to us were few and far between, and that we had to be ready when He spoke so we could listen and hear Him. But as I've pondered this, I've really come to appreciate that God is around us all the time, and that if we put ourselves in a position where we can listen, then we can hear at any time. And that has helped me realize that it's more on me to hear Him than it is for Him to speak. I hear Him in nature, and we're outside right now. It's been a beautiful spring, and I love to go out for a run or a jog or just be in the backyard and to see God's beautiful creations or up in mountains, and I share that love with my Father and can hear Him there. I hear Him in scriptures, I hear Him in prayers, and especially when I'm considering other people's needs. And as I pray for them, and often I hear the Lord's guidance to me for them in His holy house and in the temple. But certainly when I'm on my knees or reading the scriptures, thoughts or impressions will come into my mind. Recently I realized that with the craziness of this coronavirus, I had forgotten to pray for our sister missionaries by name each and every day, and had maybe been more generic and let that slip a little bit. So just yesterday morning, I prayed specifically for Sister Croft and Sister McLeod in our ward, and asked specifically that the Lord would bless me with an opportunity that day to share the gospel. Well, later that day, the sisters had posted a song that Sister Croft had written herself about Jesus Christ in these troubled times, and it was a beautiful song, so I shared it with 5 or 6 people, and all of them were able to hear that song, but one responded to me saying that she couldn't get any audio to come out of the file that I sent her. And we tried a couple different ways, and finally I just said, I know I can get Sister Croft to just sing that for you. Would you like that? And she said, well, I don't know how to do that. So I set them up on a group chat on the messenger, and just about 15 minutes ago, they called her and sang a beautiful duet to my friend. And I know that God was in the details, and that it wasn't just by happenstance or chance that her file didn't open up the audio, and that we were able to connect her individually with the missionaries. So I testify too, like my wife, that God is around us all the time, that as we listen, and then we could hear. I say that in the sacred name of Jesus Christ. Amen.